What's up, my fellow reality nomads, and welcome to the next episode of Review Fluxx. Today we've got a great one for you with Horizon Zero Dawn, which is a legendary experience that is sadly marred by one of the worst names in the history of gaming. Its engaging storyline, imaginative world, and impressive gameplay will forever be muddled behind a crowd of people who totally remember the name of this game. I want to say Confines Zero Dusk? Thankfully, the name makes more sense after you play through the whole campaign, and if you're a fan of action RPGs, I assure you that will happen. This is one of the best adventures you'll go on this year, even if your character's name is more on the nose than a blackhead. In this world of killer robots and wildlife tribes, you play a young woman named Alloy, get it? Horizon is instantly engaging because of the mysteries they set up from the very start. Questions beyond ones like why the Flintstones got recast with Roboraptors.
Introducing Roboraptor Blue from WowWee Robotics. Roboraptor Blue can walk, run, or put something in Roboraptor Blue's mouth, and he'll play tug of war with it.
Bullshit.
Bring the prehistoric into the present with Roboraptor Blue from WowWee Robotics.
It starts with your father taking you as a small baby to a mountain-carved temple in order to name you before the sun god. In this powerful moment, the matriarchal tribe states some awful truths you must absorb. Your mother is dead, your father has been banished from society, and you're seen as an abomination. I know that feel. As a small, adorable little kid, you try to make friends but can't understand why you're a pariah to everyone around you. You're not entirely alone though, you have your stern and loving father who raises you like a badass Atticus Finch. Why he was banished from the village and who your mother was is a central question throughout the entire journey. This isolation and desire to communicate is what sets the tone for the whole experience, creating an understandable identity for you to latch onto. After the game throws a lot of hard knocks at you, they reward you with an ancient piece of technology called a Focus that allows you to access digital memories of the past.
Show me. Show me again.
Tekken 2. He's right behind you. Hi! Happy birthday, Isaac. Daddy sure does love his little big man. Look, Daddy can't be there with you and Mom, but we can still have a party, right? Sure we can.
Happy birthday, Isaac. Daddy sure does love his little big man.
These small scenes might be some of the most bittersweet moments I've seen in a game, and they all build a relatable character who you can sympathize with and believe in throughout your time in the wilds. When you do eventually venture out beyond your tribe's lands, you'll find a war-torn world under the leadership of a man who violently usurped his insane father's empire. Opening the door to his capital city to every clan, the Empire goes on an apology tour that would make Obama cry liberal tears. You have a little spark between both the Emperor and his general, creating a cringy little love triangle.
Will we survive?
Probably not. Now push.
You also have a mysterious voice that talks to you through a focus device, providing even more mystery and intrigue to an unfolding storyline.
I don't get it. Who is she?
Her name is Elizabeth Sobek.
You. Spying through my focus again?
Characters have in-depth conversations that reveal backstory and motivations, helping you care about what's going on in the world.
Damn them. The ring of metal lies in the ruins of Devil's Grief. That ground is taboo. I will return to the matriarchs, beg them to make an exception.
NPCs feel far more organic and lifelike than your average sandbox game and react accordingly to the tribal destruction around them.
What happened? I haven't heard a blast like that since the liberation.
Aloy is a doubter of not only gods, but tribal division. And the story brilliantly confronts themes of skepticism in a world where she might actually have a higher purpose. It simply hits all the right notes at all the right times and knows how to build a larger narrative without forcing users to get bogged down in the details. Combat is a breeze to pick up, mostly due to you learning in your formative years, and gives you everything you could want out of fighting robotic bulls. Battles are easy to follow while also feeling out of control. Anytime you lose, it's because you didn't respect your opponent, something your dear old dad would constantly tell you. There are several weapons to choose from, including an all-purpose bow, a slower and more powerful hunter's bow, explosive slingshot, an automatic bowgun, tripwires, and a weapon that chains down your enemies. You can also drop 3 different varieties of landmine traps, which is fantastic if you want to lure a creature into one. Gatling guns and missile launchers can be knocked from larger robots and provide quick bursts of awesomeness. Holy shit, that's awesome! For close combat, you can use your bow with strong and quick melee attacks, dodging when things get hairy. When I say get hairy, I mean the enemies can easily get the better of you if you're not paying attention. Clever girl. Each battle requires you to treat it like it's your last, because if you go in half-cocked, you're probably gonna have a bad time. Of course, you could run into every engagement with your guns blazing, or you can go through and use stealth to take everyone out. The world is surrounded with these patches of red reeds which blend in perfectly with your hair. Maybe it's luck? Maybe it's memory. You're motivated to battle against creatures you feel outranked by, because that's the only way you'll get stronger. Regardless of how well you prepare, enemies simply refuse to be pushed over. The game's difficulty curve is close to being perfect, with you never feeling like you can't overcome the odds. When you do fail, it's usually because you got too cocky, kid. You would be wise to use your focus to find their breakable components and their weaknesses in order to ensure victory. Losses usually reveal your mistakes, so you'll rarely get stuck considering you can always regroup and collect more potions and build more weapons. Sliding feels amazing, but sometimes you feel a little derpy when you get caught doing it. As I mentioned before, you can pick up materials from around the map in order to restock your supplies through a convenient menu that slows down the action just enough to give you time while keeping you engaged. Despite this, if you use all of your wires, for example, their space in your inventory will disappear, leaving me wishing that there was some way to lock a designation for your inventory list, but it's really not too inconvenient. Finding herbs is exceptionally easy as they're all color-coded. Red herbs add to your health reserves, while other colors represent protection potions against the elements. Now, if you want to make health potions, you're going to need to kill wild animals around the map, a move I'm sure designed to piss off vegetarians. Delicious healing meat sauce. Some additional apex predators of the organic variety would have been a welcome addition, so I don't feel bad killing defenseless rabbits to get my drink on. Outside of the main storyline and epic battles, side missions are standard fare, but work in the storyline. They provide more depth to the world around you, and many of them even pay out in the ending. It feels like you can't get through a mission without stumbling over some additional information, and you're rewarded for poking around corners, searching things out. Entering random buildings can reward you with additional lore and backstory for you to dive into. There's a lot of deep subtext that's been drenched in satire.
What were they doing here?
It was a corporation. A group of people not unlike a tribe. And they made machines.
Oh my god, Snake, spoilers! The leveling system is easy, with experience being picked up after defeating enemies or completing quests. When you do explore the skill screen to upgrade your warrior, you'll find a wide range of useful and enticing maneuvers. You can go all Legolas and shoot multiple arrows with one bow pull, knock enemies off their feet, or go into bullet mode when aiming. These additional moves feel rewarding and encourage you to grind in order to access abilities like silent sprinting. If I had one complaint about the game is that the conversations lack the grit to truly be interesting. Aloy is far too nice with every conversation, and the choices you make don't really affect the story as a whole. There's no alternative paths, just the way you react to few select moments. Also, the game uses the focus ability to investigate locations and track people, but this engaging mode is sadly underutilized.
What are those leather straps?
Not to mention, the puzzles are nothing more than turning power symbols in order to unlock doors. The map, which is rendered in 3D and looks fantastic, is actually hard to navigate, especially with invisible walls blocking shortcuts. Your HUD-based directional icon takes you down the path you want to go, rather than pointing out where the exact location is, sending you around wide corners when you could have just jumped over a river. It's nice that there's these creatures called tallnecks that provide an overview of the surrounding area, but this is another Assassin's Creed vantage point that is held together by the idea that you can hack map information over using your very own eyeballs from a nearby mountain. Now, you may not care about this, but I love a feature I didn't even know existed in the game until about halfway through my review. There's a fantastic picture mode where you can position the camera, adjust the aperture, and even alter the time of day in order to capture breathtaking moments in the game. You can either keep Aloy in the picture for some awesome action shots, or you can remove her for jaw-dropping landscape photos, an idea sorely missing from games like Final Fantasy 15. On the note of beauty, fuck me sideways, this game looks better than this McDonald's bratwurst hamburger. It's the kind of game where you actually enjoy taking a seat and taking in all the visuals. There's a fantastic day to night transition with fog that rolls in and moonlight that blinds the ever-living shit out of you. The map is heavily diverse with several different geographical terrains, from swamps to mountains and deserts. Sadly, they're all connected at the hip, and they don't blend very well, usually changing from one hostile theme to another. The ancient technological tombs you enter are filled with beautiful lighting and metal walls that glisten with age, and the holograms you find glow with mystical radiance. Cutscenes are fantastic, and plot points are storyboarded well enough to understand what's happening in almost every scene. Character designs are a perfect fit of tribal and technological, with citizens using the bones of technology as their armor and tools. But if I had one small nit to pick, it would be this guy's freaking helmet. You're a hunter, dude, and you're purposely wearing something that cuts off your peripheral vision? Are you powering your cheeks or something? What is that, a tea stain over your eye? Your eyes seem to be working, so I guess you just hate depth perception. This is one of those reviews where I can state how beautiful and romantic these visuals truly are. Sadly, that leads me to the technicals. I did stumble across areas that I can only describe as forgotten towns with frozen citizens. Light graphical glitches, unable to jump over interior walls, and glitches between transitions. I've had people tell me I should ignore these small technical issues, but that's like telling me to ignore technical achievements, for which there are many in this game. One little touch that I noticed was how they supplement your ability to sense someone near you with glowing eyes that you can see on your shoulder, allowing the camera to stay in real tight during battles. How the developers included videos that demonstrate how weapons work before you even buy them. The way your enemies jump back to realign their shot, surprising you and making you feel immediately vulnerable. Just look at this time lapse and you'll see how much detail is actually here. But when my character goes into a sudden coughing fit, I'm not thinking to myself, oh, that's clever. And I can't confirm it, but I do feel like they borrowed Resident Evil 4's secret difficulty adjustment in order to keep the action fun and never frustrating. Except maybe the last boss battle, which was just brutal. I mean, I got wrecked. I feel like audio may always be my shortest section, but it does allow me to touch on an important aspect with all games. Horizon is another shining example. The creature's mechanical growls, both in movement and vocals, are terrifyingly believable. The light audio of moving through grass or the sound of wind whipping past all but helps build the seal-tight immersion.
Uh-oh. Get that signal up.
Voice acting is usually very good, but this cult leader's voice and performance just cracks me up.
Nightmares. Yes, the worst dreams of our enemies come true. Yes, rise!
The soundtrack is another high point, with a large range of heroic, majestic, and disastrous tracks that sell the sweeping narrative. There's just way too much ham here, and it doesn't fit in very well with the serious tone.
Barely ever opens his mouth, and when he does, nothing interesting comes out.
From the Great Plains, but not alone. Never alone.
Who runs this place?
Captain Balon, in the parapet by the market building.
This last one might be my favorite, because he repeats it every time you pass by him on the rooftop bow with majestic, murderous glinthawks.
Ah! Those majestic, murderous glinthawks!
Bottom line, this game is an absolute masterpiece and should be played by everyone. Anyone who enjoys Naughty Dog games like Uncharted or Last of Us should go out and immediately pick this game up. Its heartbreaking story and imaginative setting will sit with you long after you pry the controller from your hands. The gameplay is fast, complex, and accessible enough for anyone to pick up and play. Guerrilla Games' new IP is without a doubt an absolute success. Outside of some small technical issues, they have created a timeless masterpiece that truly has the worst name possible. Hey, happy birthday, Isaac. Daddy sure does love his little big man. I swear, that scene will sit with me forever. Unlike that game with Geralt. So after reviewing an average action RPG followed by this exceptional one, maybe I should make this a trilogy. So what's the next game I'm gonna look at? Oh. Oh no.
I've got a permit to get to Silver Lake. Here.
Wait. Hey. Is there any way we can... Alright guys, I guess you're going to get that angry review you wanted. Oh no. No.
We did it! Aloy did it! We only helped.